If you ever wanted to know the definition of gaslighting or was confused about what it actually meant, then last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta would have definitely cleared that up for you. The segment involving Drew and Ralph was cringe-worthy as usual. It starts off with Drew asking Ralph about that situation with the assistant that he been dealing with, and he tells her that he fired her. But Drew asks, well, do you still talk to her? And he was like, well, I don't work with her anymore. But basically he was saying we don't work together, but we're still talking. But then he proceeds to say, but if you don't want me to talk to her, then I won't. And then Drew says, well, I don't want to be the one to do that. I want you to be able to do that on your own because I don't want you to come back to me with resentment. And then he said, well, I already resent you for a lot of things anyway. And it just got to the point where they were going round and around in circles with the word salad and him manipulating her to the point where she felt like she was going crazy. And so they did a little segment to ask her, the producers asked her, did she even know what gaslighting was? And she actually wasn't sure what gaslighting was. So they told her to look up the definition of gaslighting in her phone. And she read the definition. And the show made a joke out of it by actually putting the definition up in the caption. And then she realized, she had an aha moment like, wow, I am being gaslit. But she just made light of it, and the episode continues to go on. And so later in the episode, Ralph tries to do a kind gesture spontaneously by arranging a special evening for Drew. But basically, that's called love bombing. He set that up so that he could get her mind off of the situation with the assistant. So he proceeds to let Drew know that he's setting up this special evening. But Drew is skeptical about it because she still has concerns about that assistant. But she clearly knows that he's trying to throw her off about the situation. But anyway, Ralph goes ahead and arranges a special evening. He had makeup artists flown in, and she had a pretty dress arranged to wear. And he sets up a special evening. He sets up this evening at a place where he goes to get his clothes tailored. I don't know what that was about. It was weird to me. But narcissists, they have a weird sense of self and a weird sense of doing things anyway. So I don't know what that was about. So they get there. Drew likes it. She's happy. So they get ready to start their special evening and everything. And everything is going good. They're getting ready to have their dinner. But Drew clearly still wanted to talk about the evening. So she started to bring up the situation, but she didn't bring it up in a heavy way. She just brought it up lightly. But then that was a way for him to get offended, get mad, and throw a temper tantrum and blame her for ruining the evening. Like, why did you have to bring this up? Can't we just have a good time? Can't we just leave this for counseling? But it's clearly that Drew wanted to talk about this. It's weighing heavy on her mind. So he proceeds to blame her and tell her that she's ruining the evening. And basically, she ends up apologizing. And actually, she didn't do anything wrong. But narcissists always have a way of making you feel bad and making you apologize for things that you didn't do. And so he starts up with the word salad and everything, throws a temper tantrum, storms off. Drew starts to cry, and that's the evening. And this is a battle that she's going to have to deal with over and over again in her marriage. He's not going to change. He's not going to stop doing this. And holidays, special occasions, parties, and dinners will continue to end like this in tears for her. And the counseling won't work because he needs to get counseling on his own for that narcissism. So the marriage counseling between those two will never work out because narcissists are real good at manipulating marriage counselors. So I feel sorry for Drew. I think the only thing that she can do is just get out of this situation, because narcissists never change. And he's going to continue to do this over and over again. This is the second season of this with them. And this is not just for the show. This is who he really is, and he's not going to change. And she's going to continue to be unhappy until she gets out of this situation. So that was last night's cringe-worthy episode of Atlanta Housewives. Did you guys watch it? Do you have any opinions about this situation with Ralph and Drew? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.